الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية عتت غفلت عن أمر ربها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما.
As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to Exactly. I'm your host, Saad Imam. Remove your shoes and enter upon your right foot, upon the right state of mind, bi-idhnillah. Topic: 7 top reasons to marry a Kaafirah. 7 top reasons, or top 7 reasons, to marry a Kaafirah. Now, I must begin by saying, and walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Brother Abdul Wali Muhammad. I must start by saying that this is my disclaimer: to marry a Kaafirah in a kufr society is bad. Not saying bad as in haram, it is bad as in dangerous. To marry a Kaafirah in a Muslim country, I can't say Islamic because no country is ruling by Islam today, but to marry a Kaafirah in a Muslim country can also be dangerous, but less dangerous than marrying one in a kufr led society. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, lovely Maymuna. And it is best if one ventures to do so within a khilafah or a Dawla Islamiyya, Darul Islam, a society that rules by Islam. This is best because your rights will be protected, and if you marry a Kaafirah in a Kufr society, then you may suffer. You may suffer by the might of the system if that marriage does not pan out. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Duchess Farley, she says, why you have on shades, why you have shades on, because I'm cool like that, I'm smooth like that. Now, it's because I read my notes. It's really a prop, you know. I read my notes, and I don't want to be, losing. This is part of communication. Learn this in high school. It's better to keep even simulated eye contact when reading, because that personalizes the discussion, inshallah ta'ala. So nevertheless, again, very dangerous to marry a kafirah in a kufr society. Even today in a Muslim society, it is less dangerous, but can still be dangerous, and it is best within a Khilafah society. Muhammad Sallallahu married 3 Jewish women, and they say Maryam, the Coptic Christian from Egypt, he did not marry her. She is not counted generally as one of his wives, but he did marry 3 Jewish women. Now, for Muhammad Sallallahu, this is from the fiqh rule of khawasihi. Khawasihi means exclusivity. It was exclusively for Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, not marrying kafir or kafira, but the kuffar women that he married had to embrace Islam. Now, he married them for political reasons. He would neutralize whole tribes. It was considered taboo for the father-in-law to fight the son-in-law. So he would marry the daughter of the king or the ruler that he conquered, so on and so forth. And that would cause akhuwa, brotherhood between those tribes, and there would be no fighting between those tribes. So he married for political reasons. And for that reason, he was not limited to 4 like we are, okay? Like we are. But again, based on khawasihi, the wives that he married, the women that were not Muslims that he married, had to become Muslim. They had to, because they were considered al-Mu'mineen, or mothers of the believers, and a non-Muslim cannot be a mother of believers. The Sahaba anhum, they also married non-Muslim women. They also married non-Muslim women. You would have to do your research to go through either of them. I don't want to belabor, because this could take 2 hours if I go through all of the details, but it's there if you care to study it. They did. Many of them did not like it, but many of them actually did. And these were the Sahaba of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay? So now, when presenting this topic, I was riding with my son, who's 24, almost 25. I'm riding with him, and I'm just presenting the topic, just discussing the topic with him. And he said that, Dad, why not just marry a Muslimah? Why not just marry a Muslimah that, prays, fasts, so on and so forth, obedient, righteous, so on and so forth, right? So he said, why don't you just marry one of them? And I said, that's best, son. It's always best to marry a Muslimah. It's always best to marry a Muslimah. I didn't say all Muslimah or Muslimat will be better wives than a Kaafirah. I didn't say that. I say it's always best to marry a Muslimah. Now, this is assuming that she practices deen, as he mentioned, prays, fast, obedient, righteous, so on and so forth. So yes, it's always better to marry that than to marry a Kaafirah. Of course, okay, even in a Khilafah, it's better. But Allah Ta'ala, again, He allows it, and we're going to go over the evidence, inshallah Ta'ala. Now, I said, but that's not always, to my son Sadiq Sahir, Sadiq Jr., I said, this is not always accessible. Now, many brothers, some of that are watching now on YouTube or Facebook, they understand what I'm saying, why it's not always accessible to marry a Muslimah. It's not always accessible. And there are reasons for it, and we're going to go over those reasons. push come to shove, if a Muslimah is not accessible, or one, that seems fair to you or to your liking, or suitable to you, or as Allah says, "Fankihu ma taba lakum min an-nisa," marry those whom are suitable to you among the women. Okay, so if you might not find one that's suitable for many different reasons. You may not find one that's suitable. Then there is the option of marrying Kaafirah. But sleeping around and having kuffar women as girlfriends and ladies of the night and all this other stuff that people tend to fall into when marriage becomes inaccessible, zina becomes the safe, what do we call that? Zina becomes the default, basically. Zina becomes the default. I was trying to think of a football term I coach my kids. I tell them, safe something. I forgot the term anyway, but I'm gonna use the term default. Zina becomes the default. So we want to make marrying among the halal, ahilu lahum, lawful to you. Okay, as Allah says in the Quran, we want to marry from among what is lawful, even though it may not be the best of choices. Okay, may not be the best of choices, but lawful is a beautiful thing when you are faced with unlawful options. Abdul Wali says it's hard being married to a kufr woman. The house would be off balance. Yeah. That's. I mean, we can go over the downfall or the negatives, the liabilities of marrying a kafirah. I think those are too easy. These are the top 7 reasons to marry one. Okay, I think it's too easy to mention why you should not marry one, and maybe you'll grab some gems out of this list why you should not. Subhanallah. Okay, so there are some theories concerning marrying non-Muslim women, kafirah women. Okay, there are some theories. One theory is that she must take shahada within the iddah. Just like an iddah iddah of divorce, iddah of talaq, 3 monthly courses, they're saying that she has to take shahada within this certain iddah or waiting period. This is unfounded. There's no evidence for it. Sheikh said is not in evidence. Sheikh said is not in evidence in Islam. Okay? Sheikh said is not in evidence. We have Quran, we have Sunnah, we have Ijma' as-Sahaba, the consensus of the companions, wa qiyas. Okay? Qiyas bi'illah or qiyas itself, analogy. Okay? Those are the sources of Hukm Sharia. Sheikh said is not. Sheikh said is only Sheikh's understanding. Okay, so let's really be careful when saying I have an evidence, and then we mention something that Sheikh said that is see, the Sheikh relies on Quran and Sunnah. We should make Sheikh said a source of Sharia, because it's not. It's not. Okay, it's an opinion in their understanding of Sharia. Okay, so they say there's an iddah or waiting period that this kafirah has to become Muslim, and usually it's like 90 days, the same 3 monthly courses for talaq or divorce. Okay, unfounded. Matter of fact, Quran is dead set against it, and anyone that understands Iman itself. Iman is something that happens smooth. There's a smooth transition from kufr to Iman. Smooth transition. One sentiments change. One's ideals change, okay? One's thoughts change. Those thoughts become solidified when they become concepts, okay? That's the uqad. That's the knot that never unravels. Uqad from aqidah, the uqad, the knot that ties hearts and the knot that never unravels. So Allah says in the Quran, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. La akraha fid din. La akraha fid din. There's no compulsion in the deen, meaning that you cannot force someone to be a Muslim. Now, you are married to this woman. She loves you. I've been together 90 days. She loves you. You love her. You married her because you were attracted to her, even though she's a Jew or a Christian. Okay? And then she is told after 90 days, if you don't become Muslim, you out of here. Just okay, without lack of half a deen, without there's no compulsion in the deen. It means you can't force anyone to believe, okay? Or force anyone into the deen, okay? Without even knowing that ayat, think about it. How does that make you feel? That even feels right? And Islam didn't come from our feelings, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we have a deen that Allah tells us to argue in the best of ways, argue in the most convincing of ways with evidence. You know what I'm saying? And it tells us don't compel anyone to believe, so on and so forth. And Allah is the one that guides. You know what I'm saying? Whoever Allah guides, none can lead astray. Whoever Allah leaves astray, there can be no guide. Okay? So this is what we learn from the deen. And then we're telling a woman, I'm going to marry you. Doesn't that sound like a temporary marriage? It sounds like a possible mut'ah, a possible temporary marriage of pleasure. Why? Because you are saying, I'm going to marry you, but you have to become Muslim. This doesn't seem right. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Sister Amina. You know, so again, it contradicts Quran, contradicts the Sunnah. You cannot force anyone to believe. And I think this came from Sheikh Said because I've never seen evidence for it. It doesn't mean because I haven't seen evidence, there's no evidence. So if you have an evidence, then present it and you can educate me as well. I'm not just here to educate, I'm here to also learn, inshallah ta'ala. So one theory, one theory is that, if she moves into your home, akhi, this mainly comes from sisters. Well, brothers have said this too, okay? They said, she moved into your home, man, she got a Christmas tree in your house. It's going to be Easter eggs hitting all inside your couch cushions. There's going to be this, and that. No, okay? Remember on Get Out, she said, no. Anyway, so I can't do the tear. I'm not an actor. So anyway, so yeah. They say it's gonna be all of this in your house, man. Easter eggs, and Christmas, and she gonna sneak up behind you with a Halloween costume and go boo, No. You're still the man of the house, okay? You're still the man of the house, okay? And but a lot of sisters not gonna understand that. You know why? Because I hate to say it, that a lot of times you marry Muslim sisters and they're really reckless with the deen even. They're reckless with the deen. They're reckless inside your home. I've experienced it. You go through all of that. I've been married like 20 times, man. I lost count. But anyway, so, you go through this and then they start telling you how a Kaafirah gonna act in your house. You're like, no, they're not. You can't act like that in my house. Why would I let a Kaafirah act like that in my house? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, nevertheless, with marrying a Kaafirah, Jew or Christian, you can let them, I always talk about astronaut marriages, my term, astronaut marriages. Basically, you float in your Islamic space, they float in their kufr space. And when it makes sense, you all could land, back on Earth together. You can land back down on Earth or on planet together, okay? Into an atmosphere together, move in together when it makes sense. And that sense would be that she takes Shahada. That would make sense, but you can't compel her to take Shahada. So with the Kaafirah, they understand. With the Kaafirah, they understand that let's do an astronaut marriage. I have my own belief. I know you have yours. I cannot drop you off at church. I ain't picking you up from no church, so on and so forth. Even taxi drivers have a dilemma with that, dropping people off at kufr service, dropping them off at the club, dropping them off at the liquor store. They taxi driving Muslims go through that type of stuff. I couldn't do it. Allah saved me from even that dilemma, even that compulsion, or that trial. So nevertheless, with that being said, she could stay in her own home, and you maintain your own home until it makes sense to come together. And if it never makes sense to come together, alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal. Allah be praised in any case. Sister Amina says, brother, you are able to add people in your live. I want to chime in if I may. Let me see if I can add you. Oh, first they say I got to stand you. See, that's going to be a problem, sister. SubhanAllah. They say I got to stand you first, Sister Amina. Say, do you stand her? That's one of the questions I get. So inshallah ta'ala, let me see if I can you know what? I have to I would have to send you the link in your messenger, inshallah. I'll send you the link in your messenger. What is this? What is this? Okay, cut this off. I'm gonna send you the link in your messenger, and then inshallah ta'ala, let me see if I can I gotta search your messenger and all that good stuff. Let me see. Amina. Amina. Okay. I'm gonna send you the link in your messenger. Just come on in whenever you're ready, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So I'm back. Okay, it needs to capture the screen. Open system preferences. It's I need permission to capture the screen. Am I trying to capture the screen? Hold on. Am I trying to? No, I don't think I'm trying to do that. Subhanallah. Here we go. I think I'm messing up. Let me see, man. Camera. Okay. I think you messed me up, sister. Let me see. Anyway, nevertheless, I can still see everything from here. So, uh, so, uh, lovely Maimuna says, that's too much. What about if there's children involved? Well, that's another thing about the dangers. You should avoid children until it makes sense to have children. And what does that mean? That means that that you are she's Muslimah. She's Muslimah. And not only she's Muslimah, but she has her legs in the deen. See what I'm saying? You know, she has her legs in the deen. Meaning that, she has her legs in the deen, and uh she has a Islamic stride, basically, and you can see that she's striving to be a good Muslimah. She's not one of those that enter Islam saying, I ain't trying to cover. You crazy? You know, yeah, I'ma still go hang out with my friends every Friday at the bar. I ain't dancing with nobody. I ain't gonna drink. I'm just gonna hang out with them. You got people. Allah talks about those that enter Islam with the heart set against faith. They actually enter with a heart set against obedience. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. So Allah talks about those. Make sure she develops her Islamic legs so that she is going to inshallah ta'ala, strive to be a better Muslim. And when you see her striving in that direction, then inshallah, you can plan a child, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah protect us. Lovely Maimuna says, can't pray together or observe Ramadan. Eid, that's too much. I've seen it happen to a relative. It lowered their iman. That's a possibility. If you don't have any legs in Islam yourself, I know people, man, they know this many surahs, and man, they got sheikhs that rejected Islam. Give me a break. They got sheikhs that reject Islam. Their children running away with American soldiers because they allowed them to have a base in the Muslim country, stuff Allah Deen, all that type of stuff. So we see that all the time. So I don't have a problem not praying with the Kaafirah. I don't have a problem not observing Ramadan with the Kaafirah. That doesn't, I mean, how many brothers are single that fast Ramadan by themselves? How many brothers that are single that pray by themselves? How many people have Muslim wives and the relationship is such that they pray by themselves and even fast by themselves? So, I mean, I'm not trying to go there, but I'm just saying that, not praying together is not the, and one person said, well, they can't go to Jannah with you. I said, well, what makes you think I want to be in Jannah with her? What makes you think I want to be in Jannah with her? I done went through all this life with her. I mean, just a joke, but nevertheless. So Abdul Wali says, Abdul Wali, excuse me. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. What qualifies you to give advice, or do you have any proof and evidence to back up what you are saying? Is this backed up by Quran and Sunnah? Really, akhi, I'm clueless. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. If I say something wrong, just feel free to correct me. If I fall short on evidence, bring the evidence. Things like that. Yeah, because I'll never be qualified enough. I don't support corrupt rulers. I don't believe Muslim armies should be only to kill Muslims. I don't believe We should obey rulers that are put in in leadership by the West, puppet rulers. Uh, I don't believe that that our army should be stagnant and not helping our brothers and sisters in Kashmir, Palestine, Syria, Yemen, so on and so forth. I don't believe that we should be sitting. I don't believe we should have multiple rulers. That's against Quran and Sunnah. Since you mentioned Quran and Sunnah, we should have multiple rulers. Muhammad said, if you have one ruler and another one rises up, kill that second one. So how many of them should be laid to rest right now? If we're gonna talk about Quran and Sunnah. So yeah, I'm not qualified. But I'm gonna keep talking though. I'm gonna keep talking. Ain't that crazy though? How I'm gonna keep talking? SubhanAllah, I'm gonna keep talking. I need to shut up. But anyway, so again, astronaut. She could live where she lives. You live where you live. When it makes sense to come together after her shahada, so on and so forth. Then, then it may seem like a good idea. Okay, and then we're talking about children. Of course, she would have to get her Islamic legs. Not just have legs, but subhanAllah, but get her Islamic legs where she's actually practicing the deen. You can see her trajectory be in the la, and then inshallah ta'ala, that'll work. But nevertheless, point one, I want to make another point. Point one, Christians and Jews are kuffar for those that are perplexed. Okay. If you're perplexed, Christians and Jews are kuffar. Allah Ta'ala says so in Surah Al-Bayyinah. I'm saying, إن الذين كافروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك شر برية. I'm saying, Allah Ta'ala tells us that the Jews and Christians and also the pagans, they will be in the hellfire. They will dwell in it. I'm saying, Allah Ta'ala knows about the individual. We're talking about them as groups, as collectives, not as individuals. Allah Ta'ala deals with the individual. As a collective, he said they will be in the hellfire. You call them the worst of creatures. They are not believers. Again, Allah Ta'ala mentions three different beliefs that the Christians have. He said they believe that Jesus is God. Isa is God. They believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Or they believe that he is one of three. God is one of three in the Trinity. Okay, those are the three beliefs. And people say, well, those Christians back then are not like the ones today. Well, nobody's like they were a long time ago, but these are the same Christians. Just because the qualified ones have become more and more scarce, just like the Muslims, and we're gonna talk about the Muslims too. Watch this. I'm not qualified, but watch this. Nevertheless, Jews and Christians are indeed kuffar. They are kuffar. Okay, they aren't different than the ones in the past, except that they may have gotten worse, just like we as an ummah have gotten worse. Most Jews today are agnostic, means they doubt that Allah exists. Okay, you can tell by the jokes that they make. A lot of them are straight up atheists. Okay, a lot of them are straight up atheists. These are the same atheists that believes Allah promised them in the Bible. Well, stuff not Allah, but they believe the Bible promises them Palestine. They only believe in Allah, and they believe the Bible promises them Palestine. So not only they are atheists, they're hypocrites. Okay, they're hypocrites. Nevertheless, Allah Ta'ala tells us in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayat 5, Allah says that not only is the meat, the lahm, of ta'am, the food, actually, it mentions ta'am, that the food of the Jews and the Christians is lawful with the utul kitab, those that were given a book. Now, the Jews can be say they were given a book through Musa alayhi salam, not through Ibrahim alayhi salam, but through Musa alayhi salam. And the Christians can say they were given a book, which is the Injil, through Isa alayhi salam. So these are utul kitab, people that were given a book, even though they corrupted it, adulterated it, so on and so forth. But they were given a book. So these are utul kitab. Allah says in this ayat that not only their ta'am, their food is lawful for you, but their women is lawful for you, if they are al-muhsanat. Okay, al-muhsanat comes from the root word husn. Husn is a fortress. If you ever been to the Muslim world, you will see that we have a husn, a fortress around our homes, just like the kings over there have fortresses around their castle. Tall 12 and 20 foot walls around their castles. around Muslim homes, you even have like a 6 foot, 8 foot Hussein, not Hassan, but with the Saud, Hussein, around their homes. It's a fortress, and inside of that is the courtyard, and beyond that is how you get to the front door. Okay, beyond that is how you get to the front door. So the women could walk out. As long as there's nothing towering where they can look into the yard, women can walk out uncovered. You won't even see them, okay? Because they have a husn. So this husn is the root word of muhsanat, which is that she guards her character. Her character is guarded. Her character is guarded, okay? And we were looking in the Arabic Riyadh al-Salihin and other places, and we couldn't find people really defining al-muhsanat in its essence, but we found a statement of Omar radiallahu an, Khalifa Omar. He said that she should not have a bad reputation in society. Okay? Now, she guards her reputation, and she should not have a bad reputation in society. So, and they say that, this al-muhsanat is the qualifications for marrying a person of the book. Now, Muslims came and says, and some opinions say, well, she must be a virgin. She must be a virgin. Well, if al-muhsanat is virgin, think about it. That means you can't marry any Muslim sister that's not a virgin, whether divorced or widowed. Thayyib or ayyim. You cannot marry a Muslim sister that is not a virgin. You know why? Because Allah says, you can also marry the lawful to you, ahilu lahum. Lawful to you are what? Ahilu lakum, excuse me. Lawful to you are what? The al-muhsanat among the mu'minat. Okay? Allah Ta'ala says, the al-muhsanat, those that guard their character, among the believing women also. So if the Utul Kitab, the people of the book, the Kufar, the Kaafirah women, have to be virgins, then that means the Muslim women have to be virgins. Allah gave the same qualification. So Allah Ta'ala says these Christian women have to be an upstanding character, and they have to not have a bad reputation, according to the Tafsir Omar radiallahu anh, okay? And Allah Ta'ala gives the same qualification for Muslim women. So when you say Kaafirah have to be virgin, that means the Muslim women have to also be virgin. You know what I'm saying? That means the Muslim women have to also be virgin, and this is not correct. I'm saying, this is not correct. So I think the sister's trying to click in and it's not allowing her. I sent the link. I'm gonna try to send it again. Subhanallah. Yeah, I'm trying to send the link. I don't know if I'm qualified to send the link. Maybe the brother was right. You ain't qualified to send no links. Anyway, so with that being said, we go past that because I ain't got to the list yet. Sorry. I apologize. Okay, continuing. Muslimas, they tend to, when a Muslim brother marries a non-Muslim woman, they tend to sweat the Muslim brother. Okay, they tend to take issue. Okay, for another word, if you're not from the hood. Or old hood. I'm dating myself. Sweat, right? I don't know what they call it today. Anyway, so they say, and my retort to them is always, don't sweat the brother. Okay, he's married. Okay, he's married. Sweat those that have girlfriends. Allah Ta'ala says you can't have girlfriends. So on and so forth. So sweat them. Okay. Hamid. So I tell him that, do you want him? They say, I don't want him. Okay, I don't see the problem. He can have 4, okay? But you don't want him, so don't sweat him. Then they say, so I spoke to the brother, he don't want you. He didn't choose you, and he didn't see you as a viable option, so he married, in order to, to have halal jima', halal intercourse, in order to have halal companionship, so on and so forth. He married, Well, you should marry just to have, the word nikah for marriage, bil Arabi, means to enter. Nikah also means sex. It means to enter. Okay, nikah. So when people say that you should marry for sex, well, sex is fankihu metabalakum min nisa. Marry those who seem suitable to you. Muhammad said, look at them. Perhaps you'll see something that will influence you to want to marry them. He allowed a Sahabi to look from behind rocks and walls and from behind buildings and trees at a particular woman that he thought he might want to marry, until something moved his heart where he said, okay, I think I'll marry her. And it was okay that she didn't know that he was looking. He didn't look through her window. He didn't look through her shubakin or anything like that. He was looking at her unannounced, unknown to her. And he says, oh, this is a pretty nice looking sister. And he married her. Okay. Muhammad Islam, by way of takariri, which means his silent approval, he approved of his action. So with that being said, okay, looking at them, Muhammad said, people marry for four reasons. One is, of course, we know deen, right? It says wealth, nobility, and what was the other one? Beauty. Beauty, if you ask the ulama, beauty also implies sexual attraction, not just, oh, she's a beautiful round shape, or anything like that. No, it's walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Hamid. So again, that's what it is. It is what it is. Okay. So you don't want him. He don't want you. He chose this person. Okay. He didn't choose zina. He didn't choose any of that. He chose this person. Okay. And he wants a wife. He wants a wife or a woman that wants to be a wife. And sometimes some people only want dowries. They want a mahar. Some only want mahar. They don't want to be a wife. They want mahar. They heard that they could cash out 50K. They heard they can cash out 25K. They heard they can cash out 10K, 5K, whatever. They heard they can cash out. The money became an incentive for them. Believe me, I hate to say it, I've been in chats, in part of dialogue with Muslim brothers and sisters, and it has even been stated back when they had Pal Talk, back when they had Messenger, Yahoo Chat, so on and so forth. In these rooms, it has been said that if Michael Jordan wanted to marry this Muslim sister, she said, I'll marry Michael Jordan as a Kaafirah. She didn't care. So, well, you leave your deen. I don't care. He's Michael Jordan. He got money. Marry this person. He got money. And the amount of money that person have influenced whether or not they will marry the person. The righteous women of the past were not swayed by nobility. They were not swayed by money. Okay, they were not swayed by nobility or money. The righteous women of the past, and we have documented evidences for this. But nevertheless, continuing, he wanted a wife, and he could not afford a 25,000 price tag on a woman's head. And yes, he has to give a mahar to the non-Muslim as well. She still has to have a wali, and the wali has to be of her deen, her belief, her millah. Why? Because Muhammad said a Muslim cannot be wali for a kafir, nor can a kafir be a wali for a Muslim. So that wali would have to be her father, her uncle, her pastor even, so on and so forth. That could represent her and give her away in marriage. You still have to give her a mahar. Okay, you still have to give her a mahar. Now, a lot of times, again, when the mahar becomes high, zina becomes the only affordable thing. It's not an excuse for zina, but you should never put your brother or sister in a position where the shaitan's whispers become sweet to them. It's like when people, or a sister posts with her neck and her ears out, everything, and she wearing like she's in the kitchen cooking pancakes. She got the Aunt Jemima wrap on her head, got her arms out, tattoos everywhere, or not. And I would say astaghfirullah, and everybody would jump on me, and nobody would correct her about it. Nobody would correct her about it. And it's crazy because Muslims supposed to, enjoin right and forbid wrong. Amr bin Ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar. It's what we're supposed to do. And we find ourselves in a position where we're doing what? Allah says the hypocrites have an understanding. The munafiqun have an understanding with one another. They enjoin wrong and forbid right. We find ourselves like that. A'udhu billahi min dhalik. I'm telling you, we find ourselves enforcing wrong and forbidding right. We protect feelings, we don't protect the deen. And this is a problem that we have. But nevertheless, continuing, um, a lot of sisters are out of reach because of a price tag. They it took them 5 kids to find their worth, and they say I'm worth a house, a Hajj, a car, and a no less than a 1 carat diamond ring. Or with the diamond industry came up with this, a ring should be 3 months income, so save up for it. The diamond industry, the ones that sell the rings, made this up. And like Brother Jawad say, hey, you made that up. You made that up. And they want to sell you a ring. So they told you that the ring you buy your wife has to be 3 times, your monthly income, or 3 monthly incomes total. This is crazy, man. It's crazy. But hey, live the insanity. But if you have a Kaafirah woman, she says that, just buy me a ring, just buy me a ring. And she's cool with the ring, or she's cool that you're going to pay her bills, so on and so forth. Whatever a lot of times you don't go through a lot of red tape. Well, that's because they don't know their rights. No, their rights will be explained to them. For some reason, they don't, I ain't saying they as all, but for some reason, many of them don't price themselves out of a relationship. Because see, if I'm a buy a wife, then I'm a own everything I buy. I own. I own the car outside. I own the home I'm sitting in. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Okay. I own this microphone sitting here. Okay. You want to see it? Owned. Okay. So I own this kufi. I own these glasses. Anything that I purchase, I own. I don't want to purchase a wife, because if I purchase a wife, I'm going to get me one that's, submissive and, fit, feminine, friendly, and cooperative. That's what I'm going to shoot for. I'm going to purchase one. Okay. I'm going to purchase one, and I want her to come from meager accommodations. So whatever I provide for her, she's appreciative of it. So on and so forth. Anyway, so that's another rant. But nevertheless, let's move on. And how does one look? Okay, you're a Muslim man. You on your deen, praying 5 times a day. Ramadan's coming up. You're gonna fast that like you fasted that. Okay. How you gonna find a kafir? You gonna go on these dating sites? You gonna go on a Bumble and a half Adin Muslim? They got kafirs on there too. Kafirs. So what you gonna do? Facebook dating? What you gonna do? How you gonna find a kafir? Well, next door. I mean, it's many situations. I'm only saying this because if you find you a kafirah, how you find her? Must went to the club. Must have did this. The worst scenario. When I saw a black dude with a beautiful Asian woman, I said, man, how did she? And then I found out he was in the military. Oh, so that's how you met her. That's how you met her, okay? Or they live next door, or you'll see a white guy with a black girl. I mean, I'm talking about young couples, okay? And what was the story behind that? They went to college together, so you have these different scenarios, okay? People find people. And I'm saying for a Muslim man on your deen, you should have lowered your gaze. I mean, you're looking for a wife. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Brother Julius. Quick. You're looking for a wife, okay? And when you're looking for a wife, lowering your gaze is not applicable. Of course, the brother, the Quran and Sunnah brother, I don't know if he's still in the room. He can correct me if I'm wrong. When you're lowering your gaze is to avoid looking at something that you shouldn't be looking at, something that's not lawful to look at. If you're looking for a wife, you can look, okay? You can look. You can't be looking, at nudie stuff. You can't be, I say nudie, like I'm an old man, right? Can't be looking at nude stuff. You can't be looking in people's windows and all that type of stuff. But if you're looking for a wife, and you know of someone that, you can always go for the hookup. The hookup is always a good practice, almost like, what they call that? I forgot the term. See, I'm losing all my words right now. But anyway, but nevertheless, so you can go for the hookup, but nevertheless, you got the girl next door. Okay, you got people at work. There's many different ways. I don't have to tell you how to find kuffar. In my business, construction, I have a lot of non-Muslim clients. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of non-Muslim clients. So you might find one that way, if that's what you're open to. No one can attack you for halal when every day on Facebook, every day on social media, when I see it, I see people do straight up haram, kufr buwad, no question about it. It is kufr, it is haram. And guess what happens? Muslims jump to defend them. So a brother marries a Jew or Christian woman, halal, okay? Halal, and he gets attacked. So we became what? Munafiqun, hypocrites. We enforce wrong and we forbid right. That's what we became, okay? Because if he does halal, you attack. He does haram, you applaud. Like, what type of relationship is that? They say, well, Muslims like that, who needs Jews? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Mr. and Jawad. Okay. So, nevertheless, that's places you can meet Kaafirah women. Why don't you lower your gaze at work? Why don't you lower your gaze, at one of your clients' houses? Why don't you lower your gaze from your next door neighbor? Well, the same reason I saw the Muslim sister. I didn't lower my gaze on her because I was looking for a wife. And lowering your gaze only applies to those circumstances where you're actually not looking toward that individual or individual for a wife. Lowering your gaze, looking at things that are forbidden for you to look at. And as I mentioned to you, Muhammad approved of by way of taqriri. He approved of, that the sunnah comes in 3 different ways. Qawli, things he said. Fa'ali, things Muhammad did. And taqriri, his silent approval, disapprovals. Okay, so nevertheless. So you got it that through the sunnah method you saw a Kaafirah. Okay. Nevertheless, 7 reasons. Okay, I didn't number them, so I'm gonna see if there's 7. 7 reasons to marry a Kaafirah. Let's get into it. Okay, real quick. Why would a Muslim man marry a Kaafirah? Why in the HE double hockey sticks would a Muslim man marry a Kaafirah? Okay. Trauma. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go. Modern Muslimah red tape. Modern Muslimah red tape. I talked about it briefly prior. Hubris. Hubris is when you overvalue yourself. Hubris is when you overvalue yourself. I give the example all the time. A sister moved here from the East Coast. She had about 7 kids. She wanted to get married from our community. Her dowry was a house, a car, Hajj, yada, yada, yada. Look, without going in, all the way in, pause, you know what I'm saying? That's called hubris. You are, your SMV is not that high. Your SMV is not that high. Now, I'm going to mention a nationality, but I don't just mean that nationality. A beautiful Pakistani sister, okay, 18 years old, can get that. Yeah, she can get that. Because she has the fertility, and Muhammad encouraged us. I know, oh man, modern Muslim women hate this. Muhammad encouraged us to marry fertile, beautiful, playful women. Okay? That's what he encouraged. Okay? So, you got 2 women. Just listen to the logic. I'm not taking the Mickey out, as they say in the UK. I'm not making fun of anybody. Okay? You got 2 women to choose from. And I broke this hand 2 times fighting, so I can't even do 2 right. Okay? You got 2 choices. Okay? You got a woman who is in her 40s. They got 7 kids by at least 3 different dudes, okay? At least 3 different dudes. Lawful and unlawful, whatever. This is real life, okay? But nevertheless, let's say all 7 of my kids by one. I'm gonna clean it up. All 7 of her kids are by one man, but she's now divorced, okay? She wants Hajj, a car, and a house for a dowry, and a certain amount of cash. She's in her 40s, mid 40s at that time, or 40, about 40-ish at that time, maybe late 30s, 40-ish at that time. Then you got a young Filipino sister. So I went from Pakistan to Philippine. I'm still in the P section, okay? You got a young Filipino. She's 18, okay? She says, I would like Hajj. I would like a house. This is my Filipino woman voice. I would like this much cash. I would like a car, you know, and you, I don't even know if they roll the R's anyway, but and then you say, yeah, you get that. Man, look, we can put a down payment on all that tomorrow. I mean, those are the two choices. See, when you price yourself out of the market, now I'm gonna give you the back end of that story. The sister eventually found a husband. Okay, she had several suitors, and she eventually found a husband. I think she got a pair of tennis shoes as a dowry. I think she got a pair of tennis shoes back when Payless used to be out. I don't know if Payless is still out. But yeah, I think she got a pack of she got a box of Payless shoes. I don't know if they was even worn before, but nevertheless, let me go over these comments before I get too far behind. Mister says he wouldn't. Oh, you're saying he wouldn't marry a non-Muslim woman? I like I said, go ahead and do your research. But the Sahaba did it. Muhammad Sallam did it. But the only thing about Muhammad Sallam, when he married 3 Jewish women, he has what's called khawasihi, exclusivity. He can marry more than 4. Also, the women that he married have to take shahada. Women we marry do not have to take shahada because it will contradict Quran, lack of the hafid deen. Okay, there's no compulsion in the deen. If that's what you're talking about. Jawaz says, I have heard some brothers go and get a simple nikah with a kafir wife because it is easier than going and paying $30K, $100K wedding ceremony. Yeah. I mean, look, you're trying to get married, bro. You're trying to save your deen. You know what I'm saying? Trying to save your D and your deen. Okay. Jawaz says, why are you using red pill hadith, you bigot? Subhanallah. Hey, bro, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Don't you know the white man are Kohanes? The white man. Sorry, the white man? What are you saying? Oh, the woman are Quains. Yeah. Okay. It's me going in on me. Okay. It's me, Kim. She says Muslim KS. No. It's just facts. You know, I'm gonna speak on the facts. If I make a mistake, you know, my mistakes are from myself. Any truth is by the blessings of Allah Ta'ala. But nevertheless, you know, correct me. I'm here for it. Okay. And citizenship. Yeah, citizenship is minor. Citizenship is minor. You know, a lot of them just citizenship is enough. Hey, look. You know, she said she loved KS. Alhamdulillah. She said citizenship is really minor. A lot of them will say, hey, look, get me over here, citizenship, and allow me to work, or I work with you or for you, or give me an allowance so I can help my family back home. I'm with all that. Yeah, I'm with all that. Man, look, you make my life peaceful and happy. Oh, you can have it. I wonder what peace and happiness feels like. You know, stop playing. Anyway, so continuing on, the hubris, overvaluing themselves, the ridiculous mahar, like Jawad mentions, $30K, $100K. You know, it's really, and this came from the British plants of the Saudi regime, the Zionists, over the Kaaba. You know, and they're gonna say, you call the Kaaba Zionists. No, the people over the Kaaba are Zionists. Don't move the goalposts and don't build straw men. You know, I'll set your straw man on fire. Nevertheless, the ridiculous mahar came from these people, the worst of people. Muhammad said the best mahar, the best marriage is the one that has the easiest mahar to pay. Okay, so and Muhammad said marry her even with an iron ring. Okay, Marry her even with an iron ring. Okay. Nevertheless, so this came from the worst of people. You know, the modern day Quraysh. You know, uh, they came back with the idols. Now the idols are Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey and Nelly and these other, Busta Rhymes. They came back with the idols in the Kaaba. You know what I'm saying? But they got them in Riyadh now. They're gonna move them closer to the Kaaba. Just watch. Mecca's gonna they're gonna get Medina first. They're gonna get Mecca. Watch. But nevertheless, and there's always stuff going on there anyway. I know about. But nevertheless, so this ridiculous mahar came from the worst of people. They overvalued themselves. I'm a Saudi. I'm from Jewish blood. I'm a Saudi. The British established me over the Kaaba, in order to cause fitna within the ummah, with that better than mentality. Better than you a better ally with the kuffar than anybody else. But nevertheless, so they started this high dowry thing, and that's why homosexuality is rampant there. Homosexuality is rampant there. So anyway, also racism. I know for a fact, this is not all Pakistanis, okay? But a white Christian man has a better chance of marrying a Pakistani woman than I would in general. In general, as a Muslim man over 30 years, in general, a white Christian would have a better chance of marrying a Pakistani sister, Muslim sister, than I would, in general. Because racism has infiltrated the ummah, not Islam. People say, Islam is racist, because some Muslims did something. Say Muslims are not Islam, and stop saying Islam is racist. Islam is not racist. Muslims may have become, because we left Islam as a system. So Muslims have become racist. And again, a Pakistani Muslim sister would gravitate, and her family would gravitate more toward her marrying. And this is not every individual, but in general, they would gravitate toward marrying a white Christian man than marrying a African American, whatever you say, Muslim of over 30 years. Okay, who never missed a Ramadan, alhamdulillah. Okay, so anyway, wala fakhra, without boasting, I'm saying, I might miss it because I'm sick, but I still got to make the days up. But nevertheless, why marry a Kaafirah? Because you're not limited. You're not limited. You can have up to 4. Okay? If you qualify, you can have up to 4. So you're not limited. You're not limited. So if you marry one, you're not limited. I'm not going to speak on my personal situation. A lot of people think they know my personal situation. Okay? Jawad says, this is why I am trying to go to Africa. It is a hidden gem that not so many know about. Yeah, man. If I had residual income, like if I had an OnlyFans or something, I'd probably move to Uganda or somewhere, But I can't make no money on OnlyFans, I'm thinking about, going on Only Imams or something. I don't know. Only fake Imams. And Julia says, our skin color, that powerful. It's crazy, right? So this is the nationalism that Muhammad Sallam rooted out. It crept back in because we abandoned Islam as a system. Nevertheless, you're not limited to one. So you can marry a Kaafirah. You can marry 3 Muslim women and 1 Kaafirah woman. Your disk is almost full. Save space, optimize your storage. Oh, man, my hard drive must be almost full. Anyway, I'll figure that out. So you're not limited, okay? And the sister will say, I wouldn't marry a man that's married to a Kaafirah. I heard a sister say that. I wouldn't marry a Muslim man that is currently married to a Kaafirah. They say, I wouldn't marry a Muslim man that was ever, and they move the neck, ever married to a Kaafirah. That's what they say. And then, again, I'll go back and reiterate. You don't want him, and he don't want you. So I don't understand what the vitriol is. What does the vitriol stem from? Walaikum salam. Oh, salam, Akalis, crown. Yeah, he don't want you and you don't want him. So I don't understand why you are hating on the brother who is doing halal and you support and big up and promote those that do haram. Open haram. I see y'all. I see all the time. I see y'all do haram. Haram speech, haram posts, haram pictures. Now, I'm saying pictures. I'm not saying photos of haram. I'm saying that The pictures itself are haram based on the content of the picture. And I seen y'all support it. But when somebody does halal, y'all attack it. Now, I'm not encouraging brothers to do it. I started off by saying, in case you missed it, it is very dangerous to marry a Kaafir woman in Dar Kufr, a land of Kufr. Dar Kufr is everywhere, except in Muslim lands, that's Dar Kufr too, because they don't rule by Islam also. The difference between Dar Kufr and Dar Islam is that the ruling is by Islam, not majority Muslim, but the ruling is Islamic. Okay, and Dar Islam is that the ruling. I mean, the Dar Islam is the ruling is Islamic. Dar Kufr's ruling is by Kufr, and every Muslim nation rules by Kufr. I don't care how many Muslims live there. Every Muslim nation rules by Kufr today. There's not one speck of dirt, not one grain of sand where Islam rules as a system today. Okay, inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will revive that. So our Muslim brothers and sisters will not be suffering without an army interceding. Okay, so nevertheless, so again, he don't want you, you don't want him. These days, you may deal with the same issues being with a Muslimah as you would being with the Kaafirah as being with the Muslim, I should say. Okay, but let me go over these comments real quick before I get too far behind. Jawad says, you forgot the key part that if a sister is over 30, then anyone is okay. In the Indo-Pak community, they want that fair, pale skin. So you can get one if they over 30. I ain't know that. Well, I saw one at the masjid one day. Anyway, so I have a Pakistani wife, and you're 100% correct. They hate us without reason. Yeah, a Pakistani sister told me, she's a really good friend of mine. She used to help me with my videos I used to do on YouTube, help promote the videos. I had a page called Dawah Works on. I used to do like comedic skits teaching about Islam and stuff like that. And she helped me with it, Pakistani sister in the UK. And she said that her mom says all black people steal. You know, I said, where did she get that from? You know, I said, because only half of us steal. I was joking, right? And she says, she said, man, she just says that all black people steal. You know, and, I mean, we ain't steal nobody's country. They got people that steal countries, and they're not called thieves. They steal country. They steal your language, your recipes, your customs, your dress. You know what I'm saying? Steal your language. You know, and they ain't called thieves, you know. But anyway, nevertheless, so yeah, she said that she was raised to believe, and she taught her that all black people steal, you know. So anyway, Jawad says, you forgot extreme tribalism that exists in the Muslim lands. Yeah, indeed. And Jawad says, I heard that it is extremely difficult to get married in the Somali community. Yeah, well, again, if they have been previously married and divorced, then you can shoot your shot. Shoot your shot then. Okay. Crown says, funny, there was a study done that every group of women prefers white men. And that's only for the affluence. It's not, well, you know, look, they got the dude on the cross with the 6-pack, Michelangelo's uncle, or whatever that is. You know, he got a 6-pack on, wearing a diaper, you know, ripped up, suffering, you know. Got the pretty eyes, and some pictures his eyes are brown, some, you know, his eyes are blue, some are green, you know, his eyes change colors. I guess he goes to lens crafters, and that is the ultimate symbol of beauty. You know, he looks like Brad Pitt or Tom Brady on a cross, you know, with longer hair. So with that being said, what you gonna do? I'm saying, what you gonna do? So you're fighting this imagery, and I don't have a problem with it. My daughter wants to marry a white Muslim brother. I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. Not at all. Matter of fact, I know a white Muslim brother right now. My daughter, you know, I want him to marry my daughter. You know what I'm saying? You know, I joke with him all the time. You know, are you ready? You ready? You know, but nevertheless, you know, it's not a problem with the skin color. They're the ones that's tripping out for skin color. You know, that's why I say a white Christian could marry a Pakistani woman before I could. You know, but anyway, nevertheless, Brother Jawaz, Assalamu alaikum, Yahi. Jawaz says, number one for me would be that a Kaafir woman thinks and acts as a Kaafir. Then I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think we discussed that before. Yeah, see, I like my kufr from kufar. You know, I don't want to come home and my wife tells me, I was reading something, and you know, and The hijab is a choice. So, oh ya Allah, man, please get out of my house. You know, I don't want to come. I don't want to come home. I don't want to leave work in the morning. You covered. Come home and you're uncovered. You know what I mean? I don't want to. Leave for work. You got the right aqidah, and then I come home from work and you've been listening to Mufti Mink. I don't want that. I don't want that. But again, so these days you may deal with the same issues dealing with a Kaafirah as you would a Muslimah. Okay. Now I'm gonna list some of these issues. The dress. Now, some people say, "Oh, look at this Kaafir wearing this bodysuit. Look at this Kaafir in shorts. Look at this Kaafir." Man, I could have showed you videos if I didn't delete them and block them. I could show you videos of sisters twerking. Remember when who's that? Nicki Minaj, body yaddy yaddy yaddy. Is that Nicki Minaj or is that I think that's Meg Thee Stallion. Body yaddy. That song came out. Body yaddy yaddy. A brother sent it to me in my DM. He said, "Man, look at this." I clicked on it. I clicked off. I said, "Bro, why you send me that, man?" I mean, she looked like Jackie Chan in the face, so I was cool. You know what I'm saying? But I said, "Man, why you send me that?" He said, "Bro, that's a Muslim sister. She married to a Muslim man." I said, "Well, I know where she from." Crazy, bro. She dancing, body yaddy 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 yaddy. I mean, doing it. I would do it for y'all right now. I would do it right now for you, but I'm gonna turn nobody on. They know, boy, the man was in rare form today. The man was in rare form tonight. I ain't doing all that, man. Yeah, she was doing a body yaddy yaddy. And I said, "Man, brother, why you send me that, man? Why you send me a little black Jackie Chan in the face looking girl?" He said, "Man, that ain't Chris Tucker's sidekick. That's a married Muslim sister." Anyway, that's wild, bro. That's wild. Jawad says, "So you're saying she is not supposed to be wearing tight clothes?" Yeah, she's not supposed to. And Jawad says, brother Jibril Romani, Romani, he says, talked about this and showed videos blurred, I believe. Yeah. I think I saw some of that. But yeah, like, there's no difference in dress a lot of times. Now, I know they got niqabis that strip at night. I ain't gonna tell you where they from, but it ain't from one place, so I'm not picking. But no, yeah, that happens too. They you're not even supposed to see their eyes. They got one eye to see the way, because of their cult that they follow. One eye to see the way. And I'm making fun of Islam. I know that's an Islamic opinion, but it's not the strongest of them. Nevertheless, I mean, Aisha used to flip her niqab up and throw it down. She'll flip it up and throw it down. And she was in public, When men came too close, she flip it down. Men walked away, she flip it up. And she was in a public place where people walk by. It's a thoroughfare, people walk by. And this is, I know these evidences, so whatever. But nevertheless, so a lot of times, man, you go I mean, I went through it. I had arguments, about it, and it I went into I mean, because I love my wife, I love my wife that I was having these arguments with, and it broke me, man. It broke me. I went into a bit of depression, if I may say. My depression is a little different because I still laugh, I still function, I work, I'm still play with the kids, and and all that. I still coach, and I still joke and all that stuff, and that's, my depression is a little bit different, than other people's. I still function because people depend on me. I can't, I burnt my hands in electrical fire. You probably can tell. I burnt my hands in electrical fire. It was a boom. Transformer blew up, white light, singed my hands like bacon. I fell off the ladder on my back. Gave the khutbah that day with wrapped up hands. Still gave the khutbah. That was Friday morning when it happened too. Because I'm a person of responsibility. That's why I love having children, because the responsibility makes me a better person. But nevertheless, so the dress, I went into depression because, what is that? Somebody stealing my trash can? Anyway, so I went into depression because I couldn't have, not my way. I couldn't have the Islamic way, and I felt like it was. I knew it was directly affecting me because I'm responsible. Okay, but past that, you'll go through some of the similar problems these days with modern Muslimat. Okay, with modern Muslimat, the dress is one major one. Hijab on, hijab off. It's almost like the clapper. Hijab on, hijab off. Anyway, so what's another one? Holidays. Now, sisters have said, "Oh, you gonna have a Christmas tree in your house? It's gonna be Easter eggs hitting in the couch cushions. She gonna jump from behind the door with a Halloween costume and say boo," and all this type of stuff. Like that ain't gonna happen in my house. First of all, not a house I'm paying bills in. She can be an astronaut. She can have her own house, but not in the house I'm paying bills. It ain't finna happen. The only exclusion is that if she had her own room and she did all her pagan stuff in that one room and didn't do it generally in the house, that is allowed. That is allowed, that one room. She can't do it in the house, in general. She can't have her stuff she got to have a refrigerator in her room. Why would you want to kiss somebody with the dot dot dot? Look, first of all, if you're not covering properly, I can't expect you to do the rest of Islam properly. Shaitan don't let you just do one thing. Not covering is at-tabarruj. Muhammad said, if you see someone practicing at-tabarruj, curse them, for truly they are cursed. So it's a cursed act that you're doing at-tabarruj, which is an outward display of your womanly treasures. Okay, you're causing other people to sin by looking at you. You're doing a sin that is not forgivable. You say, well, shirk is only one not forgiven. Well, add it to the shirk category, because Muhammad said all the sins of my ummah would be forgiven except for those they do publicly and without shame. And those they do, the example that they do a thing, and after they do it, Allah hid it. Allah hid it, and then they disclosed it. They went out and told people, guess what I did like last night was such and such, So this person has no shame. And Muhammad said, we don't have shame, do as you please. So shame is like if you're climbing a ladder, the first step on the ladder, or when you're coming down, the last step on the ladder before you touch ground, is called a rung. The last rung of Iman is shame. When you lose shame, you have nothing else. So when a person don't take that her showing her arms and her neck and wearing the Aunt Jemima type thing. Even the Kufar don't do Aunt Jemima no more. You heard about that? They don't even do Aunt Jemima no more, and you still do it. But nevertheless, so it's a big issue. Okay, the holidays again. Y'all saw me go back and forth on Facebook with Muslims that celebrate holidays. So-called, okay, I'm not gonna go there. So-called Muslims that celebrate holidays. Brothers say, "Am I the only Muslim that's celebrating Christmas this year?" And then he says, "I'm looking for another wife, another Christmas wife, whatever." So and then he talked about it was talking about Thanksgiving. They went at me about Thanksgiving and all that type of stuff. And Thanksgiving, although it's not a religious, so-called spiritual holiday, there's a moral clause to it. I mean, y'all don't have turkey and stuffing on 9/11. Every time that roll around. So why are you having it for the millions of Indians, Native Americans, that were killed? Why you have it for them? But nevertheless, there's a lot of moral things involved in our behaviors. Also, we can't just always say it's not religious, it's not religious, it's not religious. Certain massacres shouldn't be celebrated. But nevertheless, attitude. Okay, Kaafirah have an attitude. They'll say what? I ain't sharing no man. Muslim sisters say what? I ain't sharing no man. So you're going through the same thing. What would you do if I marry another woman? I'll leave you. Muslim sister, what would you do? I'll leave you. And it's like the same repercussion, same consequence. Same consequence. So if you don't want to go through that, and I'm not saying all Kaafir women have that attitude. I'm saying almost. I've talked to Kaafirs. I had a Kaafir tell me, look, I like you. I don't care what you do, as long as you don't leave me. I've been told that before. Ugly as I am, I've been told that before. Okay. I've been told, you paying my bills, man. We can have 4 wives. I don't care about that. That's your religion, because I mean, I'll get to that point. But nevertheless, the attitude. the attitude has to be different. You're a believing woman. Your attitude has to be different than Kaafirah women. I mean, it should be better or Islamic. Should be better or Islamic, okay? And or. So nevertheless, disloyalty. Man, that Kaafirah woman gonna cheat on you. That's possible. That is possible. Guess what else is possible these days? Muslim women love attention. Some of the most active women on social media, married. I said, man, your husband must be miserable. He must be. Sister blocked me today. I told her, I said, your husband must be miserable. You know, she blocked. She couldn't take it. She going at me. You know, she going at me because the sister posted that sisters, men that provide food, shelter, and clothing are not marriage material. I say that's all Muhammad provided. No inheritance, nothing to his wives. You know what I'm saying? That's all he provided. Food, clothing, and shelter. Muhammad was different than y'all. Y'all could never. Yes, we could, because he provided the basics. We can provide the basics. That's what's called following sunnah. Okay? Sister come on there, you comparing the prophet to this and that. I say, look, don't come with no straw man arguments. And don't, move the goalposts. Are you calling the prophet a straw man? I say, oh, Lord. I say, your husband must be miserable. Your husband must be miserable. You can't even follow a subject. When did I say Muhammad was a straw man? Does that make sense to say a person is a straw man? The argument is a straw man argument. Ya Allah, la ilaha illallah. Anyway, so I say your husband must be miserable. And that might seem mean to y'all, but I feel for her husband. I think he's miserable. I think when she come on and be like, oh Lord, $10. Anyway, continuing. Disloyalty is not just with Kaafirah women these days. Muslim women like attention. I had a wife in the past that, we weren't, we weren't fighting. We weren't really arguing even, I just, I did my little shutdown thing because of certain things I didn't like, what I saw. She was a bit chatty about our personal matters, and one brother got in her DMs and started telling her how wonderful she is. I'm like, dude, you clueless. He got in her DMs and she took a liking to the dude, I mean, hey, Muslim sister. I mean, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that didn't last long. I think we were married for like 5 minutes. But nevertheless, disrespect. A Kaafirah woman. Oh, that's your religion? Oh, okay. Well, I'm Muslim, so I don't. Oh, okay. She goes shopping. Babe, you got to take that back. Why? Oh, that has pork in it. That is actual pork. You actually bought an actual pig. but he take it back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, you didn't notice that's a pig you bought in the house. So anyway, so nevertheless, yeah, they gonna make certain mistakes. But the disrespect that you make, I'm not saying all. I'm not downing sisters right now. Please don't take it that way. I'm saying that a lot of good sisters. I think the majority of them are good. But if you see a brother marry a Kaafirah woman and then you start talking about, why would you do something like that? What's wrong with you? You ain't got no deen. As if y'all got deen. Just automatically y'all got deen. But anyway, so with that being said, the disrespect is par for the course a lot of times. But if you tell a non-Muslim woman, look, hey, this is disrespectful, in my belief, this is this and that, but you throw as much of that out as you can before you agree to join in union, make nikah, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times with Muslim sisters, they, I had a sister, I told this story 1,000 times, here comes 1,001. It was a sister in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. She was the Pakistani imam of the Islamic Center of Virginia. I don't think he's the imam there anymore, I'm not sure. But anyway, he was her wakil. And I told her, she was from the islands, Haitian or wherever she was. I told her, hey, look, any woman I marry got to cover her feet. Okay? And So we get there at the sit down in the masjid library, and the imam said, he said, "You got any questions?" She said, "I got a question. Does a woman have to cover their feet?" Now, you know, Pakistan, they are Hanafi, and Hanafis don't believe the feet have to be covered. The feet cannot show. That's the part they miss. You don't have to wear socks, but the feet cannot show, meaning your garment has to hang down low enough to cover your feet. But that's their opinion. Fine, that's not mine. So if I say my wife has to cover her feet, if I was Hanafi and I say you got to cover your feet, you still got to cover your feet. You know, you still got to cover your feet. So the imam says, "Oh no, you don't have to cover your feet." I said, "Well, I say she has to cover her feet. That means she has to cover her feet." He said, "Well, my understanding, you know," she said, "See, I'm not even married to her yet." She said, "See," and that means that when I make a ruling in my house based on Islam, she gonna run to the imam to get a Pakistani ruling. I ain't doing that. So what I tell her, I say, "Well, why don't you marry the imam right in front of the imam?" See, y'all thought I was an online character. Right in front of the imam, I say, "Why don't you marry him then?" I'm not going to have that. If I say cover your feet, man. I mean, look, I'm paying all your bills. Golly, man. So anyway, the disrespect a lot of time is on tap. Okay, nevertheless, Allah says, Muhammad says, you know, a lot of times it's met with the same aversion. I'm tired of this Islam. I'm tired of Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah. I'm tired. I've heard this. Wasn't from a Kaafirah. Okay, so, and I'm not saying all, this minority, small minority, make you feel better, small minority. Okay, from the Kaafirah won't say in general, I'm tired of it. You know, the Kaafirah be like, I'm trying to understand you so I can better please my husband. Now, if I was diabetic, you know, alhamdulillah, I'm not. Then you would have to understand my diet so that you won't kill me when you cook. Okay. If I was this way or that way, I had an allergic reaction to a certain type of detergent, you would have to cook with an alternative detergent in order not to make me miserable during the day and at night while I'm trying to sleep. So all of that, you would have to learn your man. It's like a man has to learn a woman. You marry a Kaafirah, you still have to learn her, and she has to learn you. It's just that your life is more complicated because you have a life. Kafirs don't have a life. Their life is new every time they wake up in the morning. The only thing consistent is their job. Everything else is new. What they're going to eat, what they're going to wear, it all changes by fashion. It all changes through time. It all changes by appetite. We're locked in on what we're not going to eat and what we can't eat. We're locked in on, we're going to pray 5 times a day. We're locked in on Ramadan. We're locked in on Hajj, locked in on Zakat, so on and so forth. We're locked in. Okay? We have a lifestyle. So when that Kaafirah learns our lifestyle, she can better please us as a wife. And people say, well, you know, a Kaafir wife? I mean, man, why you want to, you know, look, sometimes we just want a wife without all the complications. I'm serious. Sometimes a man just wants a wife without all the complications. She become Muslim later on. She's already in the mode of making you happy. I'm saying now she become Muslimah. She's going to strive for Allah's pleasure, which also involves making you happy as a man. Okay. So, Ismi, if I got your name right, Ismi Kim says, you have such a high opinion of Kaafirah than you have a Muslim in your hypothetical scenarios. See, I knew you wouldn't catch it. I said a small minority of sisters. Over half are, okay, I'll call you Kim. Over half are good. Okay, that's what I said. But if you go on social media, go on Snapchat, go on Insta. I don't go on Snapchat, but go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go on X, Twitter, go on Facebook. Look around. I'm not making y'all any kind of way. It's right there. I've seen sisters that I didn't know were sisters. And they said, peace be upon you. I said, salam. And I said, wa alaikum. I said, wa alaikum, and upon you. Don't greet me like no kafir. I said, you're a Muslim? She said, yeah. I said, I had no idea. And Allah is my witness. I'm not here to read hearts. I had no idea they were Muslim. So because they were in that state, dressed like that, behaving like that, speaking like that, cursing like an American sailor, I'm saying, I didn't know they were Muslim. So that's not my low opinion. That's my actual eyes and ears. That's my senses picking it up. You know, that's my senses picking it up. And it is what it is. So it's not a low opinion and a high opinion of a kafir. Kafirs are what they are. Muslims are what they are. Either they reach their potential or they don't. I'm speaking about those that don't reach their potential, and also speaking of those that do reach their potential. If you missed the first part, I say it's better to marry a Muslim. I'm saying, not someone that just calls himself Muslim, because you can go through just as many headaches as you will with a Kaafirah. But someone that actually practices the deen, it's always best to marry them, but they're not always accessible. So that's the point of this video. Women that pray, fast, and righteous and obedient and submissive, they're not always readily available. Okay? They're not readily available all the time. And brothers don't have to submit to making zina. They don't have to submit to having unlawful sex and paying women and all that type of stuff, or becoming incels. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to submit to that. Well, the Prophet said fast. Okay, well, they fasted in this society. You know, they got to go to work. They got to drive down the street. They seen what they seen. It's not an Islamic society where these harms are removed from our eyes. We seeing all this stuff. We're influenced by visually. Men are influenced visually, chiefly visually. That's what Muhammad said. Look at them. Okay, so and we fasted and we fasted and we still want a woman. We fasted and we still want a woman. So Allah made the muhsanat among the utul kitab, the people of the book, Jews and Christians, lawful for us. Wa ahillu lakum, and lawful to you. Okay? So he made them lawful. They are an option, no matter who hates it. They are an option, no matter who hates it. Crown says, I'm on file for saying Israelites might as well marry a heathen. Ain't much difference from an Israelite sister, a Christian, and a witch. Man, this dude. In case y'all didn't know, Crown is a Israelite. But nevertheless, Kim says, most of these Muslims are reverse. I don't know if most are. I don't think most are reverse. Well, okay, the ones I'm talking about probably. You're probably right. The ones I'm speaking of. But guess what? Yeah. The Arab woman, the Pakistani woman from their lands, the African, I've seen it. Africans be traditionally not covered. They walk around with that wrap on their head, neck out, ears out. You know, traditionally they don't cover. A lot of them do. A lot of them traditionally don't cover. And these are born, raised Muslim, whatever you want to call it, from Muslim lands. You know, Asia, Africa, whatever. So it ain't just on reverts, okay, or converts, whatever you want to call it. So nevertheless, Allah says, Muhammad says, means nothing, but you tell them, look, this is my religion, respect it. Can you respect my diet? Can you respect this? Respect my household? Yes, I can. Okay, we can talk. Okay. Nevertheless, Kafir women are willing astronauts. Look, because of my lifestyle, because of my religion, you're going to live there and I'll live here. When it makes sense for us to move in together, we'll move in together. Okay. They are willing to understand that. Imagine telling a Muslim sister, you know, she ain't quite right from what you observe of her. And you tell her, look, you live there, I'm going to live here until it makes sense for us to live together. Because we're on something different. Well, why you want to marry me then? Why you want to marry? The Kafir be like, oh, okay, I understand. I'm a Kafir. You're a Muslim. I don't know nothing about that. I'm going to study it because I need to please you. Yada, yada, yada. Muslim sister like, man, I ain't finna please no dude. You ain't Allah. You ain't the prophet. You know, all that good stuff, you know. Sister just posted the other day. I posted, I screenshot it. She said, this submission, man, I can't deal with it. I mean, why you got to say it? Why we can't cooperate? Why you got to say be submissive? Because it says it in Quran and Sunnah. She didn't like the term submissive. What you going to do with a person like that? It's a Muslim sister. I've never seen her uncovered. It's a Muslim sister, you know. So, like, I'm not downing sisters. I'm not recommending kuffar over sisters. Definitely I'm not. I'm saying that this is the harsh reality that we live in these modern days and times. It is what it is. Okay, Jawad says, I've seen videos where they get nikah, but the relationship is more like a girlfriend boyfriend. When it doesn't work, they just divorce. Man, they marrying Kafirs, dude. A lot of them are marrying Kafir dudes, which takes them out of the deen. I got evidence for that. Takes them out of the deen. I don't care what your sheikh say. You know what I'm saying? Oh, go home, go back home with her for 90 days. Like, dude, why would you send a Muslim sister home to a Kafir dude for 90 days? Like, what do you think this is? Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is happening. This is happening. Jawad says it seems like you can't tell a woman what to do. Crown says, translation, the more she knows about the faith, the more of a headache she will be. It's just another thing for her to use against her man in some cases. So in those instances where y'all living separately, do you pay all her bills and yours too? You're only if that's the agreement, you can pay all of her bills. You also can do misyar. Misyar is a marriage of concession. It's halal. It's sunnah. You can do a misyar marriage, meaning that because generally she lives with you, and that's how the bills are consolidated. You know, if she lives alone, and that's the agreement, because you don't want her in your home, or she's not able to come into your home, then you pay her bills. You can pay a percentage of her bills. Okay, you can cover her food, her food bill. You can cover her clothing bill. You can cover, her rent and so on and so forth. Which includes her lights and water and all that type of stuff. So, it depends on what y'all agree to. It depends on what y'all agree to. Nevertheless, imagine on Judgment Day that a sister tells Allah she didn't complete her deen because she didn't like the rules. Man, bruh, subhanallah, subhanallah. I couldn't get with that. I couldn't, man, that obedience, man, bump that. Jawad says there was a whole lot of Twitter drama about brothers saying they wanted to be called by names like my dear sir king, and not by name. That's funny, man. That's funny. So, but nevertheless, continuing. I'm almost done. I'm sorry. I apologize for the belaboring of this issue. Again, they're willing astronauts, that they're willing to stay apart. It's halal and it's not zina. It's better than zina. One sister didn't like someone says marrying a Kafir woman is better than zina. She didn't like that. I guess she thought it was worse than zina. I don't know. I don't be knowing what's going on sometimes. Man. I'm telling you, I'll be lost, man. Maybe because I'm old and ugly and crippled and broke. But I don't be knowing what's going on sometimes. They don't like that a Muslim man marries a Kafir woman because it's halal. For those women that it is halal to marry, they guard their reputations, like it's halal to marry a Muslim woman that guards reputation. So it's better than zina. It's halal. It's not haram. No bastard kids will come from it. Those kids will be halal, legitimate kids, no zanim kids. Nevertheless, it says you're better than their options. See, as a Muslim man, you're better than that Kafir woman's options. As a Muslim man, you're better than her options. Now, she might like Chris Brown. She might like R. Kelly. She might like Jay-Z or whatever, right? But you're better than her option. You're better. You can help her, bi'idhnillah, by Allah's favor, Allah's help. You can help guide her to Allah's pleasure and to her shahada, if Allah so wills. You're better than those options. You're better than those options. So they may be appreciative. And for a Muslim sister, there's always an option better than you. I'm not going to deny it. There's a lot of brothers better than me. A lot of brothers better than me. But for my children, no better option. No better option than for my children. Now that woman can parasail into the sunset like Hamas did. Parasail into the sunset. Nevertheless, clean dawah slate. See, they're not coming in with hang-ups and hangovers. I ain't finna submit. I ain't finna, what's the submission stuff, I demand more than food, shelter, and clothing. Like, I mean, this is what happens. You're starting off with a clean dawah slate. So basically, she won't come in with the wrong information, because a lot of times Muslim brothers can attest to this. We get a lot of this clap back, like, well, I always heard, well, I was taught. Well, you were not taught correctly. My daddy said, well, you're not. Your daddy gave you away to me, so you're gonna have to learn. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn. Anyway, let me catch this. Kim said something. Oh, I know she said something juicy. Anyway, so Kim says, I think obedience to your husband is the thing that makes a husband love his wife more. Oh, yes. But see, obedience brings peace and tranquility. Allah says, Leteskenu. Allah says the reason He made join you together, Leteskenu, that you may have tranquility with one another. Not just the husband happy, but the wife happy as well. You have tranquility. It's not for strife and for hardship and banging your head up against a brick cinder block wall and all of the strife and all of that. It's not for that. It's for Leteskenu, to be tranquil with them, that you may enjoy yourself. You enjoy her and she enjoys you. That's what's up. Jawad says she will go 50-50, the Kaafirah women, but the Muslim wants traditional man and not be traditional herself. Yeah, a lot of times that would happen. If you tell the Kaafirah, look, I want to marry you, I can't afford all of your bills, I'll pay your rent only. You'll be rent free, I'll pay all your rent. And the reason, because you're not living with me. Once you live with me, then I'll pay everything and you'll pay nothing. Okay? But we'll stay apart, I'll pay your rent. Kaafirah be like, bet. Man, look, I'm on board. I'm saying, why can I hitch onto this wagon? A lot of them will be like that. Yeah, real talk. Kim says, I'm confused. Is the Kaafirah woman and the women of the book the same thing? Yeah. Women of the book, Utul Kitab or Ahl Kitab, are Kaafirah. They are Kaafirah. There's no other word for them. Now, what Muslims say, they say, Christians and Jews aren't Kaafirah. They are people of the book. They always start throwing some English explanation. Look, Allah says in the Quran, what did He call Allah? Allah calls them in the Quran. What does Allah call them in the Quran? He calls them Kaafirah. There's no other word for them. They're Kaafirah. So all those English explanations, man, forget all those. Yes, a Kaafirah, a Jew and a Christian woman are Kaafirah. They are indeed kuffar. Anyway, so Da'iya Safir says a man would willingly have to convert to Islam before he can marry a Muslim woman, and so convert and change back to religions because of the commandments of becoming Muslim. Oh, that has happened a lot of times. I know personally, I know some stuff. That has happened a lot of times. Anyway. Dude taking shahada, well, he had to take shahada to get the woman, get the sister in the first place, get the woman in the first place. He didn't have to take shahada, but then, after a while, he took shahada, tried to keep it together, and it still didn't work. Jawad says, "How dare you? I went to Yaz Queen Institute." Okay, so anyway, almost done. Where am I at? Okay, it says right here. You're the better option. I talked about that. Clean dawah slate. Okay. A lot of times sisters are stuck in their understanding. My mama said, my daddy said, always, and I heard. The way I learned was, okay, well, that's fine, sister. But I'm as your husband, this is my understanding, and you always follow the leader's understanding. When Abu Bakr was Khalifa, radiallahu an, Omar followed all of the edicts of Abu Bakr. Okay, and when Omar became Khalifa, he changed. His opinion was different in certain areas, and he changed. I can give you specifics, but I don't want to drag it on. He changed a lot of the edicts of ruling, because not a lot. He didn't change it from Islam. He had a different opinion. Okay, than Abu Bakr, but when he was under Abu Bakr leadership, he respected Abu Bakr's opinion. A wife under your leadership. I know y'all don't like to submit. You don't like leadership, except when he's leading you to the bank. but I'm being facetious. You know, but nevertheless, under your husband's leadership, you need to follow his opinion when it comes to covering the feet, comes to this, comes to that. If he says wear niqab, wear niqab. If you can't deal with niqab, don't marry him. Okay? If you can't deal with niqab, don't marry him, because he'll never be happy with you. He'll never be happy with you. He'll feel like you're doing something wrong if his understanding is niqab. Okay? So anyway, that's the 7 reasons, if you can count 7 out of those, to marry a Kaafirah. Okay? One, Muslim red tape, modern Muslim red tape. 2, you're not limited to one wife. 3, I gotta do this because my hand's broken twice. 3, these days you might deal with the same issues. Now list those issues, okay? 4, they are willing astronauts. They will stay, in their own spots, until it makes sense to come together. 5, it's better than zina and it's halal, okay? 6, you're the better option. To them, you are, man, you're the best thing since sliced bread, okay? Better option, okay? 7, you got a clean dawah slate. You could, bi'idhnillah, if Allah wills, you could mold her, teach her the deen. She'll understand the deen properly. She won't come in with hang-ups. And then if she becomes Muslim, then it makes sense to move in together. But before that, she's a willing astronaut, okay? So anyway, that's all that I have on the seven top reasons to marry a Kaafirah. Again, it's dangerous to marry a Kaafir in Kufr society that rules by Kufr. It is dangerous to marry even in a Muslim society that does not rule by Islam, but it's less dangerous. And it'll be better to marry them in a khilafah. So if you like some pretty Kaafir girl, give her dawah. If she don't want to become Muslim and you still want to marry her, then help us to work toward and call for the reestablishment of the khilafah so you can marry that woman, inshallah ta'ala. Now let's get to the delusional dating profile of the week. And this is, let me see if this is it. I don't think this is it. Where is it at? Bam. Let me see. This is it. Marquita. First of all, come in. Okay, I guess I'll go with Marquita since I already got it up here. Let me scoot over. This is my delusional dating profile of the week, DDP. Marquita is 40 years old. Okay, so she's hit the wall. Okay, that means she won't find a husband, but attitude is everything. Okay. If you can't give me respect, please just skip my page, please. She said please twice. She's very mild-mannered. Okay. If you can't give me respect, please just skip my page, please. Okay. Then we went to the same high school. First off, don't come at me with that lame but ASS excuse or ASS pickup lines. Lines apostrophe S, it implies ownership. Again, I think we went to the same high school. Okay. Okay, let me start over. See, punctuation is everything. Okay. First off, don't come at me with that lame blank pickup lines. Okay. Second, Second, I'm not your little mama, boo, thick, chocolate, sexy lady, etc. I'm not looking for a one-night stand either. Okay. I'm a very grown woman, so please come at me like you have some sense, or A-R-E, should be or you will be blocked. Okay. So anyway, she's a certified nurse, doesn't have kids, never smokes. Okay, so let me go through this. Okay, you say, where's the delusion? Okay, because it's the delusional dating profile of the week. So where's the delusion? Okay, here's a delusion. Second, I'm not your little mama. She's not little at all. I ain't showing you a picture. I don't have a picture. I didn't take a picture of it. I say of it. She's not little at all. Okay. Boo thick chocolate. No, that's not. See, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop with this thick. Stop with the thick. Okay. You're not thick. You're unhealthy. You're not thick. You're obese. Stop with the thick. You're not thick. You're unhealthy. If you squat down, you can't get up without assistance. You know, without assistance. EMS, construction crane, a very strong husband, a couple of NFL players, whatever you need to help you up. But you're not little, mama. You're not little. Okay. Uh, you're not uh, a thick chocolate. You're not thick chocolate. Okay. You are unhealthy. Okay. Sexy lady. Yeah, exactly. Thick equals fat. Sexy. You're not. You're not. Who told you that? And that's a problem I got. I got a problem with a lot of you men. Stop, man. Stop telling people that they're cute and they sexy. Stop that, man. You got women out here looking crazy, bruh, because you want one thing. So you're gonna do a Derek Jackson, tell them exactly what they want to hear. You're gonna try to get it, and then you're gonna quit it, and they're gonna become even more jaded. And the next post you're gonna put up is, I'm gonna try this one more time. I'm tired of you dudes, yada yada yada, just going off. Because I read them all the time, they're going off. They're going off all the time. So, I'm not your little mama, boo thick, chocolate, sexy lady, etc. You're none of that. You're none of that. You might be dark complected, aka chocolate, but you are not that. Let me see if I don't have. I would show the picture if I had it, but I'm not in it for that. I'm not in it for that. Okay. She's 5'9". That's pretty tall for a woman. Okay, that's pretty tall for a woman. And she's 5'9" sideways too. So you're not. She got a Wembanyama wingspan. Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs. You got a wingspan like him, involuntary wingspan. So yeah, so let's talk about that. Okay, you're not. Stop. Okay. One night stand. Yeah, they got dudes that drink and do drugs, and these are really low life people, and they're gonna come at you and tell you all the stuff. They're gonna Derek Jackson you to death, tell you all the stuff that you want to hear. Like, stop. Like, you look how you look, and you may be attractive to some people. Don't come on a dating site looking for a long term relationship. With attitude. Don't do it with attitude. I mean, come on, man. I mean, a lot of these profiles are just negative. They're like nothing about themselves. I'm 5 foot such. I'm a Capricorn. None of that. It's First of all, let me tell you something. This goiter on my neck, it ain't going nowhere. I look good with this knot on my neck. I know I look like I got two heads. Some dudes like head, some dudes like two heads, I should say. I'm a very grown. Yeah, you are very grown. You 5'9". Yeah, Yeah, you 5'9". You are very grown. You're 40 years old. You're 5'9", vertically and horizontally. Yes, you are very grown. So please come at me like a man. I'm not, excuse me. Please come at me like you have some sense. Or you will be blocked. Or you will be blocked. Yeah, or you will be blocked. Okay. So that's my delusional dating profile. Look, man, us men, we started that stuff, man. Derek Jackson, oh, you all are queens and y'all deserve the best. And this dude, obviously, he don't value you. Obviously, he don't even know what a good woman look like. Obviously, you cheating on your wife, dude. Obviously, you messing with all these Instagram thoughts. Obviously, you paying for it. Obviously, you got you a beautiful religious woman at home. She might be bat crap crazy, but she's a beautiful woman. Miss Jackson, I got a slide open. I am for real. Anyway, so the whole point, is Yeah, man, it ain't right. It ain't cool. It ain't cool. So keep your delusion, and we'll see happy trails. I'll maybe run across your profile again later, and I'll see if you found someone to marry. Okay. Jawad Daiya says Islam is not for weak-minded when it comes to marriage, especially Catholics. Yeah, I married a Catholic woman one time, and brother said, "Man, if you man, you shouldn't marry her, and if you do marry her, you you better not stop coming to halakha, and you better not stop coming to the masjid, and you better not stop praying." And I said, "Man, who are you? Yeah, boy, I'm a leader, dude. I'm a leader. I may not be able to lead her to Islam because Allah make Muslims only make dawah." But she became Muslim, alhamdulillah. But like I'm like, you think I'm gonna fall off? I said, man, y'all fall off. Y'all got Muslim wives and y'all be falling off. These brothers have Muslim wives and they be falling off. They talking about a Catholic gonna make me fall off. Man, you got me bent. Islam is my first love. They better get in line. Looks like she's just on the app for validation and not a relationship. No, she needs a scale to validate her. She need one of them whale scales they got at SeaWorld. That ain't nice, bro. Why would you say SeaWorld? Don't say that, Jawad. Some of them have a mustache and they think that they are 10s. It's crazy out here. Well, they're a 10 on a Billy D. Williams scale. Kim says it's not good. I apologize, sister. Jawad says, what are the chances of her having children in the future? No, she can't. She can have dust. She can have dust mites. She can have dust mites. She ain't gonna have no children. I mean, a woman could have children at 40, man. She might have one egg, like far to the back, like to the left, one egg left. If you can pop that sucker, boy, you might can get a child out of there. That child will come out a teenager. That child might come out a teenager. Anyway, say talking about her profile. I apologize. I do this every week. I do the delusional dating profile of the week. I find I got better ones than this. I clicked this when it came up, so I rolled with it. But nevertheless, that's crazy. Not boo. What's that? Yeah, that's I'm gonna go ahead and delete this so I don't ever see it again in my life. But nevertheless, that's all that I have. This is your brother Saad Imam for Exactly. Inshallah, tune in next week. Appreciate you all coming out, commenting, even if you disagree with me. I was hoping the Quran and Sunnah dude stay behind and stick with us and teach me Quran and Sunnah as we went along. You know, what qualifies you to? Yeah, I'm qualified. I'm qualified because you can't make me stop. I'm gonna keep talking about your king. Talk about y'all lapdog scholars that don't do nothing for this ummah but pass fatwas. You know, trying to turn Islam into a religion. You know, anywhere in the world, man. Like I said, if I got, I will give you a real life instance, but I'll talk about that some other time. I got 9 children. Okay, if I failed to protect my children when I could, I would lose respect. I would lose their respect as a father, as a protector. How can children and women and innocent men be slaughtered by an army? Civilians with guns are being slaughtered by an army. An anti-Islamic army that gets their oil, their fuel, that fuels their killing machines from Muslim lands. Uzbekistan, so on and so forth, through Turkey, Saudi. They're killing our brothers and sisters, and there's no army to help them. When it came to Ukraine, they dumped billions of dollars of weapons and money into Ukraine to help Ukraine fight off Russia. The Muslims get nothing. Free Palestine flying that colonialist Kaafirah flag, talking about free Palestine. The flag is why Palestine is under siege. Okay? We need to come out of that post-colonial era and join back together as an ummah. Somebody that believes in Allah and His Messenger needs to take a military, get from under the leadership of these rulers that people love so much, and do what we got to do. assure the safety and the well-being of our Muslim brothers and sisters. Muhammad said we're like Jasad and Wahida. We're like one body. One part of the body hurts, the whole body feels it. Y'all don't feel nothing. Palestine, we will never forget. Man, y'all forgot already. As soon as y'all said that, y'all forgot. As soon as y'all said that, y'all heard Cardi B and Offset was getting divorced or broke up or whatever, and y'all forgot about Palestine already. Stop it. Y'all don't care about them brothers and sisters. It's all clickbait. Dead babies, clickbait. That's all it is. Stop with it, okay? Stop with it. Inshallah ta'ala, this ummah gets better, this ummah heals. I ain't got time for y'all sheikhs and y'all rulers of kufr and all that type of stuff that don't do nothing for the ummah, who only use their armies to kill other Muslims. Oh, them Muslims in Syria got a crazy belief. Them Muslims in Yemen got a crazy belief. What is the belief of the Zionists? What is their belief? No rockets for them, no planes for them, no tanks for them. All the planes and tanks kill Muslims from Yemen, Syria, everywhere else. SubhanAllah. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala heal us. Naeem says, Walaikum salam, Naeem. He says most Muslims are West. Is that Naeem? Yeah, most Muslims are westernized. Yeah, even in Muslim countries, a lot of them are westernized in Muslim countries. I've run across some of that. That's why when I married my Moroccan wife, I refused to marry someone that was affluent. I refused to marry someone that lived in a nice house with air conditioning and this and that. I refused to marry one of them because I don't feel like I can do any justice, to people like that. Not saying it's bad. I'm saying that, I'd rather lift up someone that was having a hard time than to parallel or throw a lateral to someone that was just as well off as I am. Well, I'm not well off at all, but someone was doing better or just as good as I am. But anyway, this is your brother Saudi Man for Faculty. Tune in next week, inshallah ta'ala. We'll pick up a new discussion. I'll post the flyer soon, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.